Hello everyone, my name is Kate Allgood and I am the owner of Quantum Performance, a high-performance coaching firm that specializes in the mental training of athletes, both youth and elite level alike. We work with clients all across the world. We are physically located in San Diego, California, but do work with clients all around the world via video conferencing. And today what I want to look at is how to develop a laser-like focus. And you're going to learn the components that kind of help you to develop focus and what you can actually do to develop this as a skill set, because it is a skill set. I love talking about focus because it's such a huge part for an athlete. You can have all the skill set you want, all the technical, tactical aspects mastered, but if you do not focus on the right thing at the right moment, you will perform lower than your capacity or lower than what your capabilities are, and you will potentially make a mistake. And so focus is huge, and many people understand this, but they very rarely look to work on it, to develop it as a skill set the same way they develop all their physical skill sets. And so my job when I work with clients is to help them to work on their focus, and focus is a big part about being able to get into the zone, to get into that flow state. And that's a big part of the work I do, is helping clients to more efficiently, more effectively be able to really drop into that state of consciousness, to get into the zone, and as well as to be as mentally strong as they are physically, to build that mental muscle, to build the mindset that they're going to need, and to be able to, mentally get to that same level they are physically. And a lot of time there is this pretty big gap between the physical skill set someone has and the mental skill set someone has, and with that gap, the physical body just isn't able to display what it is capable of displaying. There's like a disconnect, and so we need both to be at the same level to really pull that full potential out of somebody. And so let's talk about laser-like focus or developing focus. So as I mentioned earlier, it is a muscle. It is something it is a skill set. It is something you can train, but you have to know how to train it in order to properly train it. And I've talked about mindfulness in previous videos, and that is absolutely 100% a big component of learning to be able to focus and have laser-like focus and really be able to drop into the state of flow much more easily, effectively, when you would like to. Because mindfulness is the different sets of mindfulness, whether it's focusing on breathing, focusing on doing body scan, walking meditation, sports meditation. And meditation isn't necessarily the only form of mindfulness. It's one form of mindfulness. But if you every day work on doing it, you actually create the ability to drop into a flow state, to have that laser-like focus that you want to have. And I think a lot of people veer away from it because they don't feel like anything's happening in the moment. And a lot of time that can happen. Like, you might be sitting there and you might meditate every day. You might meditate every day for a year and you don't feel like anything's happened. But what you start to notice is that it is easier to focus. It is easier to drop in, because when we do mindfulness, you're still going to have thoughts, you're still going to have distractions. It's learning to be able to be aware of it, to be aware of when that mind wanders, to pull yourself back to where you're supposed to be, and to really kind of focus in, to actually spend some quality time where you kind of are trying to block out everything and focus on a task at hand. And so mindfulness is definitely one of the first things that you need to look at doing if you want to really develop your focus. Another part is also something I've talked about, which is cognitive sports training. We are at a time in history where we have the technology to train and to actually measure our kind of, I guess, mental muscle, or what we are doing within the mindset, similar to the way that we look at the physical side. And the mind is a muscle, and so the more you train it, and there are certain sports training, cognitive sports training out there that is specific to focus. I do something called NeuroTracker with my clients, which is very specific to focus and to all the different divisions of focus, which there's quite a few divisions. There's 6 different divisions of focus, which a lot of people don't realize. And if you want to kind of look at that, I have some videos on that. And so actually training your mind and lifting the weight like you would your physical body, going and specifically spending some time lifting the weight, is a huge part. There are some other aspects you can also do for developing your focus. I like juggling as one, learning how to juggle, because juggling is to really be able to juggle like 3 balls at a time. You have to be really 100% focused. Your attention has to be outward, and you also have to be relaxed. And that's also part of, a flow state, is to have a certain kind of what we call relaxed concentration. Another thing you can do is try and have multiple stimulus going on and trying to block them out with focusing on one thing. So for example, you could be reading or playing a video game with music on in the background, and can you try and get so focused in that music kind of fades away, and then can you kind of pull your focus back out where you're taking all of it in, and practicing kind of going in and out where you take in multiple stimulation and then kind of block it out and come into only one, again, is helping to develop and build that muscle. So those are a few aspects you can look to develop your focus, so you can really kind of like hone in on it and be able to get into the zone, to get into that flow state. If you want more information, I have a book, Get Into the Zone, which was a #1 Amazon bestseller. I'm, for a limited time, offering a free download of the PDF version. There is a link in the bio below, or the description, below. Go ahead and check it out if you want to kind of dive a little bit deeper into the mental side to your performance and how you want to be able to get better at it. See you guys soon in the next video.